To pray, there's no angels where I go, only pieces that are broken, scattered dreams across the floor. I'm home.
Alrighty, hello everybody. This is Kiru Show here. Now, let us begin. We'll start with a man running down the hallway, and he's going to be late. He can't miss it, not again. He doesn't plan to. As he comes barreling into the room, nearly breaking the door off of its hinges. This is a very wondrous occasion. His child is going to be born today. He missed it the first time, and he's not going to miss it again. Running into the room to see his wife in labor, and going over to comfort her. Her wanting to be mad, but at the same time understanding him, as he is cheering her on, telling her that everything will be alright, and that this is going to be okay. As let us cut to a little while later, with their child being born. It is a beautiful baby boy. And, well, he has his mother's eyes, and his father's hair, along with her quirk. Now, with that being said, Midoriya is at least thinking, this life here, it has been good, it has been bad. But at the same time, it's also been peaceful. It's been good. Then again, threats are coming, and facing them will not be easy. They need to make sure that everyone here is strong enough to make sure that in case Darkseid does attack, their rematch will kill him. One of those two men are not walking away from the battle. Now, let us cut back 5 years ago. Roughly almost about 6. Midoriya, he has just got out of bed. And he has decided that he knows what he has to do. Jiro knows what he has to do. The only problem is, people, if they don't back him up, he's going to have to take the cities by force. And with that happening, it'll just show that people are who they truly are. If he takes the cities by force, people will reject his ideas and everything he plans on doing in the future. So, he would do one thing. He would use his super speed, heading straight to the broadcast room, and then try and at least relay his information. He relays his information in any way he can, ordering his Lantern Corps to go to every major city, every major place, that people will see it, broadcasting his message through the Lantern Corps. As all around the globe everyone is seeing his face, and hearing his voice, as he himself begins to give an explanation. Hello everyone. Now, this message might be odd to all of those reading this or seeing it. Now, I am Izuku Midoriya, and, well, surprise surprise, I'm alive. It is not just that. We plan on helping the Earth. That is the biggest concern right now. The Justice League, they have their own ideas on what to do. However, I have different ones. My idea is a backup plan, an arc, if you will. Now, I plan on having multiple places in each country set up to be taken away. So, as a map would appear, showing every major place Midoriya plans on taking. He plans on taking places from everywhere. Japan, Russia, Tokyo, you name it. If there is a major population there, he plans on taking it away. Explaining that he needs scientists, people with agricultural, crops, and even historians. Now, this offer is extended to everyone. And, well, he thinks he has a good idea of how many people would take it. However, I will not force anyone. In fact, the only reason why I'm taking these cities is because of their, well, status and importance. Building things from scratch would be too hard, and would possibly take too long. So we're going to jump the gun a bit. Midoriya's broadcast ended. That being whenever Damien does walk into the room and ask him exactly what was that. Midoriya looking at him and saying that that was Plan B. As he goes to walk out the door, Damien just bringing his hand up and telling him that you do know we will do this, right? We will get things right. We have to. Midoriya just looking at him, not saying a single word. The look in his eyes should be enough to convince him. He gets that they can try. He gets that they can do anything they think they can. But even then, you are too confident in yourself. You are just a man, Damien. And so were you. Yes, I was. And somehow I still murdered the entire Justice League. Is that your next words? I know you, Damien. You are in my head too. Him not really sure what to say. Midoriya just walking past him, brushing down his arm, telling him that that is it. Leaving and then heading over for the rink they left outside. This being when Midoriya would present it to Jiro, and at least try and guide her on how to use the ultraviolet power. Now, he does give her a bit of a crash course on it. Meanwhile, let's cut over to the Phantom Lantern ring. It is searching, and it has a bit of time. In fact, it has a few hours left, and it has been flying over the continent, flying all over the country. And it just decided to look in Japan. It does not have a lot of time, as it does feel something. Now, let us cut over to Bakugo and Uraka. Bakugo has showed up on her doorstep, and he's not too sure as to what to say. The fact being, the two started dating halfway through the first year of UA. She was kind, intelligent, smart, and very clever, especially with the way she would use her quirk. After they graduated, they had plans. but they were all kind of ruined. He put his life on hold with her, though he never stopped being a hero. In fact, it almost ruined them. And Ochako herself thought about quitting. She had doubts, but she tried not to give up. She tried to stay strong, and she pressed on. Now, Bakugo, he's not too sure what to say. Kirishima called her. As soon as he mentioned Bakugo, though, she hung up. And he is at least thinking, deciding to knock on the door, and finally faces past. Ochako answering the door, she does look a bit happy and lively. Although as soon as she sees that it's Bakugo, she would go to close it. And he would have to at least try and ask for an explanation. Try and ask for a bit of time to try and explain himself. Her not really wanting to care about that. And telling him that he just left. He left everything behind. Why? Give her an explanation for that. He left his life behind here. And decided to play hero a bit too much. Out in space. Then there's your friend, Zuko. As much as I've seen that guy, you always seem to be a bit at ease when he's around. Why is that? I saw your guys' fights. You guys helped Superman. You're able to team up with him and talk with him normally. Why? But when it comes to anyone else, you do try and put up that front. I broke down your walls once before, Bakugo. Can't you let me do it again? You won't. That's just it. Bakugo just thinking. Wanting to try and say something, but he doesn't know what to say. Finally, just doing one thing. Bringing his hands up and taking off his rings. And then just talking with Ochako. Looking up at her and telling her that the reason why they have to find Parallax, the reason why it's so important. He butchered what remains of the Green Lantern Corps, with the only ones left. Not just that. After everything in Coast City, the League has ideas. They think they know where he's going to be next, but he was never there. In fact, a couple space sectors hail him as a hero. But I've seen the carnage and damage that he's left behind. I've seen the bodies, Hiraka. That man is not a hero. He's a psychopath, trying to get Darkseid's attention. And what are you? I don't know. Human, I guess. Trying to walk forwards. Ochako just standing her ground. Telling him that if that's what he's got to say, then explain yourself about that. Just leaving in the middle of the night. Bakugo not too sure what to say. And not having an explanation. Just telling her that he's sorry. Now, after Bakugo apologizes, he would try and explain to Yuraka that with everything around, he's always been focused on doing his duty. And that it was at least fun. He always wanted to be a hero like this. Then again, he's not too sure what to do now. there's no way of saving things. And in fact, I don't want you to at least live the rest of this with regrets. The League is stumped on everything. Hell, even Lex Luthor admits this problem he can't fix. Now, that being said, Baku would go to turn around and walk away. This being when Midoriya's message gets played and broadcasted over to everyone. Now, with that being said, it would be announced that this town, the one UA is in, is one of these safe zones. Midoriya chose it specifically because it was his hometown. That does seem to be a bit odd. Then again, he does owe this place. He did almost tear it apart. And it is exactly large enough to qualify as one of these centers. Especially since it's the biggest place in Japan. Besides some other places, but it still does have that UA school. Ironic. He's becoming a hero now. With that being said, Bakugo and Uraka, after a bit more chatting, would go inside and sit down and talk. With that being said, let us cut back to Midoriya. After him and Jiro were training a bit, they decided that they need to at least begin their plan. If they don't, then, well, it's going to get more complicated. As Midoriya does try and find heroes and people alike, who will at least help with his plan. Thinking for a second. Some of the Titans, some of the Young Justice members, other people like that, they do want to help the Justice League. But helping Midoriya, yeah, some people are conflicted. Some people, though, do want to join him and be on his side. Now, that is at least understandable. After everything he's done, he can't blame them. So, he does actually begin his plan with the first city. Trying to think, deciding that it will be his hometown. As he does do one thing, flying over to Japan, and then actually bring his hands up, announcing to everyone that this will be the first capital of the new planets. As he begins to create a construct. This construct is getting larger and larger and larger. As Midoriya and Jiro begin to pump their power into it. And the two are careful, picking up all that they can, and scooping the city out of the ground. Now, everyone who needed to be here is here. The people who work with science, agriculture, history, and other things. They are all in the city. The people who don't want to be here, they're at least outside, watching their hometown be scooped out of the ground. As Midoriya would announce to everyone that this will be it. And that they will come back, and they will have more chances. Go back to other safe zones if you would like to have another chance. That's being whenever one person does actually try and confront Midoriya. You do have, well, Superboy and Magon confront him. The two flying directly overhead. Midoriya turning around and seeing them, unsure as to why they're here. Superboy can barely fly. Magon is actually using her power to keep him afloat. And she herself doesn't know what to say. Midoriya asks them if they're here to stop him. The damage is already done, and I will drop millions of people if you try and fight us. But with them just saying that they're not going to fight him. In fact, they're on his side. Magon has seen exactly what happens whenever ignorance is bliss. And Superboy, yeah, he's had thoughts about this. But Midoriya is right. If they can't save the world, they need to save the people. Superman himself would try, but even then, yeah, it's not gonna work. Though I'm pretty sure John's gonna be mad at me. Now, Midoriya, he would just understand that, encasing the two in a bubble and beginning to take flight. Everyone watching the giant city disappear into the sky as it leaves. Now, with that being said, I do believe that I can leave that part off of here, and I do hope you guys enjoyed.